Good morning. Tony Fryer, systemic marriage and family therapist. Have my office in the Scripps Center in downtown Cincinnati. I'm doing these videos to try and elaborate on blogs that I'm doing, and if you want to read my blog and you haven't signed up already, it's on my website www.tonyfryer.com, TonyFryer. Today I want to elaborate on the blog 6, which was titled Divorce, and it's a very serious subject, and hopefully it'll come across what I'm trying to say to you. It'll come across clearly. There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm Irish as you pick up from my accent, there's no doubt in my mind that divorce is needed in our society. In my country, I got married in 94, and that same year there was a referendum to introduce divorce in Ireland, and truthfully at that stage of my life I wondered, was it a good idea? I had seen the divorce rates in the USA and in our closest neighbour, England, and it didn't look like they had a better society than us. However, I did vote for divorce, and I'm very happy that I did, and I see very much the need for it in our society. And as a couples therapist, because that's what I work mostly with, is couples with trying to enhance their marriage or dealing with different struggles. There's no doubt, therefore, that it's needed, and in my personal opinion and experience, it's an overused thing, because in my experience with the couples I've worked with, and I've worked for 30 some years now as a couples therapist. I also worked for 16 years until a year ago as a collaborative family relations specialist with attorneys and financial experts on helping couples collaboratively get through a divorce process, doing minimal damage. So I have a good bit of knowledge from both sides. But just, there's so many couples. I'm going to make a silly, maybe, percentage, but I'm doing it to maybe get a message across to you. If I was to estimate from the work I have done, what percentage of people who divorce really need to divorce, I don't know. I think I'd put it around 60 or 65% definitely need divorce, and a large percent didn't really need divorce. They could have had a happy marriage. It's just marriage is so difficult. Why try to save the marriage? And that's where I think couples should get into a really good, experienced couples therapist. Not just any therapist, a couples therapist, somebody who has worked a lot with relationship issues, because not every therapist is trained in that. Why? Why should they try to save? Because they have this very valuable contract. Even if you just look at that, if you forget about any religious affiliation, just contract, a serious contract. Often there are children, not always. And also it's going to impact finances. So to me, if you've committed to this and you're struggling, one, I think it's pretty normal for marriage to struggle, especially as you try to work things out. Why not work through the struggle? Also, that may benefit the children. Once it's not a terrible marriage, trying to help your family to stay intact until you have to give it up. You know that it's not going to work. And then financially, and I've done divorce work, as I say, no matter how incredibly wealthy a couple are, finances are going to be altered. Your lifestyle cannot be just duplicated and you have exactly the same lifestyle and finances after a divorce. So there are three. I'm sure there's other things if I thought a bit longer. And working at it with a good couples therapist. One, you can tell your kids in the future, we tried and it just wouldn't work. Two, you can try to deal with, if you're dealing with a good couples therapist, what is your problem with communication? Not just your partners. We all can see what the partners is. No, what is my problem in communication? Hopefully you already know you do have some problems. So do I. And I'm just healthier now than I've ever been, because I too have had therapy, and I am a therapist. So we all have issues, and it's good to try and work through those. If you can be healthier within the marriage that you're in, and if the other person can too. Also, marriage is just so challenging. It's beautiful when it's going good, and it's what I think almost every human being has sought out, to have a companion, someone who has your back, somebody who gets you, somebody who understands you, somebody who's there for you. So it's a unique institution, and along with that beauty comes great struggle, because there's no other relationship. The amount of times I've heard people say, well, my friends, I get on with all my friends, and I get on with my work associates and my family of origin, all think of fine. In other words, it's you. No, no, that's not true. You and I don't have the same expectations of others in relationship as we do with our loved one, our lover, our spouse, our partner. We expect so much from that relationship, and sometimes those expectations are unrealistic. So it's unique. You can't compare it with other relationships, and it will bring up your issues that you had long before you met this person. When you're going through that, trying to get to know each other, it is stressful, even though beautiful. And especially if you've been lucky to have a honeymoon period, that will come to an end, and issues will come up. They just will, because you're dealing with two individuals with those expectations. And the stress of the marriage relationship, all the things that go with it, the finances, the sex life, personal habits, chores in the home, raising the kids, dealing with the extended family, all of those things are going to impact it. Our careers, our friendship groupings, our hobbies, Now your pre-existing issues are accentuated in that stress environment, which is beautiful as well. And you can start operating in a pretty unhealthy way. You get two people doing that, and it seems that the other person's the problem, and if only I get rid of those, I will be better. To me, if you work through that and stay in the marriage, it's financially going to be better for you. For the kids, if you can be happy together, it's going to be much better. You're going to be able to celebrate all their occasions. You're not going to have to struggle with parenting plans or struggle with your schedules for parenting. You're just going to be more comfortable, and you're going to be more comfortable in yourself, because you're going to look at yourself in good therapy and try to be healthier. So that's the reasons I would see for staying in it, financially, for the children, just for your own well-being, and working through your own personal issues. However, divorce is needed, and you and I will choose it, hopefully when you are clear and it's just, there's not a hope in hell. We've tried the therapy with a good therapist. I've really worked on myself. I don't wish you any ill. And I know I'm going to be connected to you in some ways, because if we have children, we're going to have to parent them. So I'm going to be, and if I've gone through therapy with you for that, we're going to be healthier, less reactive, more aware of our own buttons buttons, not blame each other, see that just our mutually created dynamic didn't work. We've tried everything, and now we want to parent into the future and not be husband and wife, partners, intimate lovers, no longer. And you move forward, you'll be in a better position to move forward, and therefore there's going to be less antagonism in whatever divorce process you choose, which will greatly reduce your costs in terms of money, in terms of your emotions, and it'll be less pain of the transition for you and for the children. It just will be, because there will be less battling. Therefore, the kids will be able to move between homes in a better way. You'll be able to talk about parenting issues in some healthier way. You won't be attacking, denigrating, and all that. Kids will be healthier. That's why I got involved in that collaborative family work. And then I would say to you, if you are moving towards the divorce, for the betterment of you and for your family and for your finances, plan carefully. If you're able to talk at the end of the therapy, get all your finances in order, have everything listed out, be clear, and choose to do it collaboratively, collaborative divorce, where you work as a team at table and there's a focus on minimizing damage for the children. So do collaborative divorce, or maybe mediate. But whichever process, make sure, once again, just like I said to you earlier, choose your therapist well, choose your attorney really well. Look at the reviews, and actually I would say that for therapists as well. Very carefully choose that attorney, because that attorney and who that attorney works with will have a big impact on how you go through the divorce process. So it'll depend on you both, keeping your focus, keeping your cool and moving forward, but you need to choose well an attorney. And if you do, choose the process that you believe will be best for you. And I would say to you, once again, and I know I'm a therapist, it's not a sales pitch, get into solid therapy as an individual with someone who does have expertise. Again, I would say a couples therapist, actually, on your own. The reason I'm saying a couples therapist is it's somebody who will be able to understand somewhat what you're going through, advise you well, anchor you, help you to move, even if the other partner is not so healthy. This person will help you move through the process. So I hope that's clear. That's trying to elaborate on that blog 6. Again, my website I've given you already, and you can sign up for my blogs. And there's also a link for the YouTube videos that I'm trying to do for most of the blogs, just to sort of make it more concrete and personal. Thank you for listening. I hope it helps you in some way. Of course, I value marriage more than going for divorce just. I hope that most of the people I'm working with are able to move on with their marriage, but it's not always possible. I hope that's clear to you. I'm not promoting divorce, I'm just saying I'm promoting marriage if it's viable and if you've really looked at yourself. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.